Oh my God. It's playoffs. It's playoffs. It's playoffs. It's playoffs. It's playoffs. It's finally here. Yeah. So that's it. The NHL season is officially done. And the playoffs have been set. Oh my God, I'm so pumped. I've been waiting for this for 6-7 months. I am ready for the playoffs. I've been ready for a little while now. I want to see these teams beat the crap out of each other, and I want to see some really good hockey. It's about time. So I'm going to just kind of quickly go through the games that have been set. I'm going to go through the East, and then I'm going to go through the West. I'm going to quickly go through it. I don't want to spend too much time doing this. Okay, so from the East, we got the Rangers taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal was the top seed in their division this year, and we all know how well the Metropolitan division did. So Rangers were just below Columbus and Pittsburgh, but they've been doing really well all year. Kind of a tough one. They're very evenly matched, both these teams. Montreal went 3-0 this year, which is actually kind of surprising in my opinion. So yeah, we basically have Price versus Lundqvist. And in my opinion, both of them are kind of starting to come out of their prime. They still got probably a few good years in them. Of course, they're fantastic goalies. In fact, they're some of the best NHL goalies that we've had in a very long time. I'm leaning towards the Rangers to get the win. I'm not sure who's favored. I think they might favor Montreal a little bit. Montreal had a big problem, you know, through the middle of their season. They ended up getting Claude Julien, and they've really been able to turn it around. Rangers have been playing pretty consistent, in my opinion, throughout the entire season. I don't see how they don't beat Montreal in this. Just the playoffs are totally different. It doesn't matter about regular season wins or losses. So I'm gonna tip my hat to Rangers in this series, and I have them going in 7. I have them winning in 7. Moving down the list, we got Boston taking on Ottawa. This should be a fun one. I see a rivalry brewing here. These teams have kind of always had a small bit of a rivalry. Obviously, Boston not as big. The Boston-Ottawa rivalry is not as big as the Boston and Montreal rivalry. We all know that one. Yeah, I really think this will be a fun series. Boston had their own problems midway through the season, which is why they let go of Claude Julien, but they've really been able to turn their season around. And they're very confident right now. They're a very confident hockey club. They've been scoring some goals. Ottawa did really well this year. Ottawa could be that kind of that dark horse that could they? Yeah, Ottawa could definitely be that dark horse out of the East, I think. If they can get through Boston, they got a shot in going pretty far. So I'm gonna tip my hat to Ottawa in this series. I have Ottawa winning in 6, but we'll see what happens. Oh, yes, the best series in my opinion out of the entire playoffs. Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now I've been saying this since the beginning. The very first time I did a play-by-play, the very first time I did a hockey video was on those two teams, and it was a sweet hockey game. And I always said, if these two teams face off in the playoffs, it is going to be a wicked series. So if you don't have time for any other series, I really recommend checking this one out. I mean, we don't know, maybe some of the other series might start getting a little bit more fun, but to start off, I'm picking Pittsburgh and Columbus as my #1 playoff picture to watch. As far as who I think's gonna win, a couple months ago, I probably would have picked Columbus, but Pittsburgh is rolling in hot and heavy right now. Columbus didn't really do too well nearing the end of their season, so I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh in 7 games. Lastly, out of the East, we got the head honchos Washington taking on the rookies in Toronto. Toronto, again, very pleased with them this year. They did really well. They got a fantastic coach in Mike Babcock. So I think he's been a big part of that team. And if they're going to beat Washington, he is going to be a big part of that. He's a very smart coach, very intelligent, and I think he's going to come up with a pretty good game plan for Washington. Now, on the other hand, Washington is steamrolling teams. They're the President's Trophy winners this year, again, and they got to be by far the favorite. They're my favorite right now to win the cup outright. Now, I haven't got to the West yet because I still think there's some guys that can give them some trouble, but out of the East, Washington has got to be your #1 pick. I got Washington taking it in 5. Yeah, I don't see Toronto giving much of a fight. They're very inexperienced when it comes to playoffs. So this is going to be a great learning experience for these guys, but I don't see them winning this year. I don't see them getting out of the first round, let alone any other round. Okay guys, so on to the West. We got St. Louis taking on Minnesota. Now, St. Louis honestly has just been red hot lately. They've been winning games, kicking ass, taking names. Okay, that kind of rhymed, but that's okay. No rhyme intended. And on the other hand, Minnesota, oh man, a couple months ago they were doing so well. I was actually really excited and I was having a really fun time watching these guys grow over the course of the season. Now, they went through a pretty darn big hiccup there nearing the end of the season, like I've kind of been following. Bruce Boudreau hasn't been able to really rally his guys. They have won a few games near the end, but they weren't doing as well as they were before. So this matchup is actually going to be very interesting. I have St. Louis winning in 6, just because Minnesota couldn't get their together. But if they can roll ahead, if they can get the first couple games in this series, they might be able to take it. Oh, we got San Jose taking on the Edmonton Oilers. This is going to be a fun series. You got Connor McDavid and the younger Oilers in their first playoff series. Man, Oilers have been just red hot lately. They've been kicking some ass too. This is going to be really interesting to see how Edmonton plays in their first couple games, especially Connor McDavid. I want to see him turn his game up to another level. This kid is amazing. He is so fun to watch. San Jose, they're taking on San Jose. San Jose were the runners-up last year, okay? They made it to the Cup Finals. Now, unfortunately for San Jose, the last month or two, they haven't been doing that well, kind of like the Minnesota Wild. I think the Oilers are going to make an upset in this series. I think they're going to get the upset. I think they're going to win. I got Edmonton winning in 7 games. Okay, moving down, we got Nashville taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago has got to be your #1 favorite out of the West. These last few months, they have been on a tear. No, there's really been no one has been able to stop them. Yes, they've lost a couple of their last few games. I think they were like 3-3 and something their last few games. That doesn't matter. Nearing the end of the season, they're starting to rest a few key guys, so they weren't fully there. They didn't have their full team there. Chicago has just been amazing, okay? Playoffs are a whole different story, like I just said. And when these guys get into the playoffs, they know how to ramp it up. They've got 3 rings in the last 6 years or something. They're amazing. So they're by far my #1 favorite out of the West, and I have them beat Nashville in 6. And that's being nice to Nashville. Now, Nashville can't give them a run for their money, right? They got the addition of PK Subban, a couple other good players. Their defense is actually really, really good. They got Pekka Rinne, solid goaltender. So that'll be a bit of a fun matchup, but there's no way Chicago's not going to win, in my opinion. Lastly, we got another really fun one. We got the Calgary Flames taking on the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks secured their Pacific Division title again, so they've been really hot lately, and so has the Calgary Flames, which is going to make this matchup even more fun. The fact that both these two teams were kicking some ass coming out of the season. Flames are young, they're hungry, they're confident right now, and to add more fuel to the fire, things have been getting chippy between these two teams. One of the Ducks GMs or something was talking about Calgary's captain as being a dirty player, Giordano as being a dirty player, and Calgary's GM or whoever responded saying that was an asinine comment. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear rolling into the playoffs. Let's ramp these two teams up. Let's get some fights. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is the playoffs. We probably won't be seeing a lot of fights. Probably won't be seeing a lot of dirty stuff because guys want to stay out of the penalty box. Okay? You want to give your guys the best, you want to give your team the best chances of winning. And you got to do that by staying out of the penalty box. Still, I think there's going to be a few penalties, especially in the first game. I got Anaheim taking it in 6, but honestly, Calgary could upset the Ducks in this one. Well, that's pretty much it for me, guys. I just kind of wanted to quickly go through everything, kind of give you guys a heads up. My wonderful fan base, thank you guys so much. Love you. Oh man, there's so many of you out there. Freaking love you. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. Awesome, guys. Take care.